Are Japanese knives made in China good? That's what you will find out in this video. Hello guys, I'm ChefPanko and I work in a Japanese restaurant. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about knives and cooking. I've been testing multiple Chinese knives from different price ranges. Some really impressed me, especially for the price that they sell them for. But others were completely useless, and that's especially true with the knives that has a lower price range of $10 to $20. The main problem with Chinese made knives are that the information from the sellers, especially for the resellers, are all over the place. It is misleading and confusing to name a certain Chinese steel type with a Japanese steel type. Also, many resellers don't know what type of knife they are selling. They will tell you that it is a Japanese gyuto, but once it gets delivered, you can see that the profile is exactly the same as a Western chef's knife. So, what do you need to know? We actually should not compare Chinese made knives with a Japanese knife. The reason for that is that they are both completely different. We will focus on the Chinese made knives with the claimed Japanese steel type VG10 and AUS-10. We should start with the imported Japanese VG10. Despite the claims and documents, I still have my doubts about the steel type being a real VG10 from Japan. Sometimes I found knives that are comparable in terms of out-of-the-box sharpness and edge retention. But once you have sharpened it for around 15 to 20 times, you can start to see some problems. The knife can't maintain its consistent sharpness from heel to tip. There are different parts of the knife that won't be as sharp as the other parts on the knife, no matter how you sharpen it. As of right now, I will actually tell you to avoid buying knives with the claimed imported VG10 steel from Japan. Don't get me wrong, even the claimed imported VG10 is pretty impressive, especially for the price that they sell them for. I've been writing and talking about the Chinese VG10 that's called 10CR15 Go Moth. A lot of sellers, especially resellers on AliExpress and Amazon, sells those steel type, but there's one major problem. They are confusing the consumers by straight out lying with marketing terms by tricking people into thinking that they sell the Japanese VG10. However, when you contact them personally and don't buy by just reading the sales page, then they will tell you the truth and say that it is a Chinese VG10, or in other words the 10CR15 Go Moth. The fun part with this steel type is that the manufacturers plays a huge role in how the knife's material will perform. I tested multiple Chinese steel types and they all perform differently, and some are even better than the Japanese VG10 and AUS-10. But right now the quality control of this steel type is not on par with the AUS-10 version that they create. So it is pretty much a gamble in which quality you get. And now onto the last material that I want to talk about is the imported Japanese AUS-10 steel type. Make sure that the seller sells the AUS-10 steel type. I've seen a few that has AUS-10 in the pictures and the sales page, but when asking them directly, they told me that it is the Chinese AUS-10, also called 10CR15 Go Moth. This is very strange. Apparently the Chinese VG10 is also called AUS-10 for the Chinese sellers. I know that this is very confusing, so be sure to contact the sellers before buying. The AUS-10 steel type is something I absolutely love, and the Chinese manufacturers are doing a good job in maintaining the quality of this steel type. I personally would choose an AUS-10 of 60 HRC over a real VG10 from makers like Tojiro or Shun. The AUS-10 performs the same, but it is less brittle than a VG10 and a bit more durable. I'm also amazed by the Chinese manufacturers that sell those AUS-10 steel types for those price ranges. Now on to the quality of other things like the handle design. I've tried the wooden handles and each time I can find some things that I dislike about wooden handles and the quality control. So my advice is to avoid wooden handles if they are designed like a Western full tank handle. On the other hand, the G10 handle design from those manufacturers are good, no complaints about those handle design. The octagonal wooden handles are also good, so the only problem is the full tank Western handle design. Of course, this is based on my personal experience and I did not try every single knife brand that is available on Amazon or AliExpress. Most of the knives available on AliExpress is also on Amazon, but on Amazon they are a little bit more expensive. However, the after sale will be handled by Amazon themselves. The after sales on AliExpress is completely different. If there is something wrong with your knife and you need to send them back, then most of the time the shipment cost back to China will cost more than the knife themselves. However, the after sale depends on the sellers themselves. There was one seller that sent me a completely different knife than that I ordered, and he refunded the money and I could keep the knife. I have more knives from Chinese manufacturers, so a review will follow. You can see how they perform and what I like and dislike about them. If you have any questions, leave them behind in the comment section below. If you have one of the reviewed knives and you want to add some extra information about it, make sure to share it in the comments so that you can help other consumers about making a decision. That's it for this video. If you want to know more about knives, cooking and sharpening, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next video.